A disease we didn't choose. Why our life source needed healing, not discipline. The diagnosis no one chooses. Let me begin with a story. Emma was a 6-year-old little girl when her parents noticed something wasn't quite right. She was always tired. Bruises appeared easily. She didn't have the energy other children had. So they ran multiple tests, and the doctor sat down gently and said a word that no parent ever wants to hear: leukemia. Emma hadn't done anything wrong. She hadn't chosen this. She hadn't caused it. But the source of life inside her body, her bone marrow, wasn't working properly. Because of that damaged source, her blood couldn't form the way it should. Her immune system was weak. Her whole body struggled. No one would say to Emma, "Try harder to be healthy." The issue was an effort. She needed healing at the source. Most people assume the human beings begin morally neutral, whole, and only later broken by personal failures. But the Bible describes something deeper. David writes, "Surely I was sinful at birth," Psalms 51:5. This does not mean we inherit personal guilt for someone else's actions. Scripture never teaches that babies are morally blamed for Adam's sin. It means something else. It means we are born into a human condition already affected by the fall. Just as diseased marrow produces unhealthy blood, a damaged life source produces fearful, self-protecting human beings. This is not about blame. It's about a condition. And that distinction changes everything. What the fall actually damaged. The fall went deeper than behavior. It just didn't introduce bad choices. It affected the inner structure of the human life. How we perceived trust and perception and desire. How we see ourselves in identity and relational safety. The prophet Jeremiah described the results like this: "The heart is deceitful above all things." Jeremiah 17:9. Humanity did not lose knowledge of right and wrong. We lost the capacity to live from the secure trust in God. That means the problem is not simply that we break rules. The problem is that the inner system we live from has been destabilized. The first emotion after sin. Genesis records the first human emotion after the fall. "I was afraid, so I hid." Genesis 3:10. Notice what happened. Adam didn't say, "I became rebellious." He didn't say, "I became immoral." He said, "I was afraid." The heart no longer felt safe in God's presence. Fear entered where trust once lived. And when fear moved in, the life source itself was affected. This is why the Bible treats fear, not just behavior, as a central issue. Jesus explained this principle clearly. A bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Matthew 7:18. Fruit reveals the condition of the tree. If the tree is diseased, the fruit will be unhealthy, even if the tree tries to produce good fruit. Fearful, self-protective behaviors reveal a damaged life source. The issue is not effort alone. It is a condition. Discipline has value. It can restrain behavior, manage symptoms, and delay consequences. But discipline cannot repair the inner damage caused by the loss of trust. You can control behavior while fear still governs the heart. That's why Scripture describes salvation not as a moral re-education, but as a heart restoration. "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you." Ezekiel 36:26. God does not start with the rule enforcement. He addresses the source. If sin were only bad choices, better rules would have been enough. But Jesus describes his mission this way. It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. Mark 2:17. Jesus did not come merely as a teacher of better behavior. He came as a physician of the heart. Because the problem is internal damage. God sent Christ not just to instruct us, but to heal us. Compassion for your condition. Understanding the condition brings a certain amount of relief before a change can happen. Many believers live under constant self-blame, but clarity brings compassion. This week, replace self-condemnation with some truth. I'm not broken simply because I failed. I'm broken because humanity fell, and Christ came to heal. Truth brings relief before it brings transformation. So here's the question we can carry forward. If trust was damaged at the fall, and the life source was affected, what filled the space where trust once lived? The Bible answers clearly. Fear moved in. Module 3 is where we explore that, how distrust opened the door and fear became the new operating system of the human heart.